let's continue. So as I was saying, this thing piperazine citrate will block acetylcholine and ultimately lead to no contraction, leading to flaccid paralysis. Just hold on 1 second. Yes, sorry about it. So yeah, as I was saying, piperazine citrate will essentially cause spastic paralysis. Sorry, piperazine citrate will cause flaccid paralysis by not causing, or by causing hyperpolarization, wherein there will be no contraction and the worm will get completely relaxed, wherein it will get expelled out of the body because it is completely relaxed. Now, piperazine citrate has a very good cure rate with respect as a antihelminthic. Okay, almost 90 to 100% of cases of helminthiasis will get cured by piperazine citrate. Okay, especially in case of ascaris and enterobius. Whenever a patient has enterobial infection और they have ascaris infection, दोनों में piperazine citrate बहुत अच्छा काम करता. ठीक है, the worm will recover if they are placed in a piperazine free medium. ठीक है, that is why whenever you are giving the drug, give it with the purgative, because what will happen is as soon as the drug wears off, as long as the drug is inside the body, the worm will not be able to move at all because of flaccid paralysis. If that drug concentration decreases, eventually what will happen is that worm will recover and it will hook on to your body again. So what you need to do is you need to give a purgative, something to purge the GIT, something to clear your GIT properly, something like a laxative or a purgative, so that even if you're creating flaccid paralysis, if you're not able to expel the worm out, that fellow will recover back again and it will hook into your small intestine. So essentially you have to give it with a purgative. Give with purgative. Okay, you can give it with a laxative as well or a purgative, whatever is fine. T half is variable and अलग अलग लोगों में अलग अलग T half रहता है इसका. uh, PK is that it undergoes oral absorption, liver metabolism and urinary excretion. Okay. Main adverse effects with relation to piperazine citrate will be mild GIT symptoms. It can cause mild GIT symptoms. For example, it can cause a little bit of dizziness. Sorry, it can cause a little bit of diarrhea. It can cause abdominal pain. The patient might have headache. They will have urticaria, special type of rashes. Okay. They will have urticaria, nausea, vomiting. If you give a very high dose, that is when dizziness will occur. And this drug is safe in pregnancy. Important point. You can give piperazine citrate in pregnancy. Okay. Avoid if possible, because piperazine citrate has a different problem. It can cause carcinogenicity. Piperazine citrate has the ability to create cancer or to cause cancer. So it's a carcinogenic drug. Certain drugs will have the ability to induce cancer. This is one such drug. It has carcinogenic potential. Okay. The drug is also called a carcinogenic for that matter. Any drug or substance that can cause cancer is called a carcinogenic agent, and it can cause carcinogenicity. Contraindicated in renal insufficiency. Contraindicated in renal insufficiency and epileptics. दोनों में भी नहीं देना. ठीक है. Do not give this drug in case of epileptics, in epileptic patients, and in patients who have renal insufficiency. If you give a very very high dose, convulsions can happen, and ultimately the patient will die due to respiratory failure. Okay? If you give a toxic dose of piperazine citrate, the patient might die because of respiratory failure and convulsions. Okay? So be careful when you are giving piperazine citrate, and especially for these drugs, you need to do TDM. Okay? You need to monitor the drug throughout the course that the drug is being given. Now, coming to the next drug, we have niclosamide. Now, niclosamide जो है, this is very effective against tapeworms, especially Taenia solium, Taenia saginata. Whenever you give this drug, what will happen is it will kill the worm, and the problem is that segments of the worm, generally once it is killing that worm, uh, what will happen is, uh, see, essentially this niclosamide will cause inhibition of oxidative pyrolysis, oxidative phosphorylation. Sorry, this fellow inhibits oxidative phosphorylation. ठीक है, this is happening in the mitochondria of the worm. ठीक है, and because of which what will happen is ATP generation gets affected, especially anaerobic ATP generation. Aerobic ATP generation decreases. ठीक है, it will interfere with anaerobic ATP generation, and ultimately what will happen is that worm will die. But one problem with this drug is that whenever you give this drug, especially in case of Taenia solium, there will be segments of the worm. Now I'm sure आप लोग last year Taenia solium के बारे में पढ़े होंगे या intermediate में पढ़े होंगे. There will be different segments to this worm, and what happens is these dead segments, they will get partly digested, and they will have ova of the worm itself. Okay? The ova that are present inside the segments of the worm, they will get released inside the body, which will turn into larvae, and those larvae can go to different organs in the human. They can infect various organs in and around the human, and what will happen is it will cause visceral cysticercosis. That is a very big problem. ठीक है, so visceral cysticercosis is when it is affecting visceral organs, and it is causing cysticercosis in those visceral organs. So once again, what happens is niclosamide will inhibit oxidative phosphorylation in mitochondria of the worm. Okay, not in human. Oxidative phosphorylation in the worm, mitochondria of the worm, and eventually what will happen is because of this it will start inhibiting, or it will start interfering with the ATP generation of the worm. Ultimately what will happen is the worm will die. But one problem with this drug is that whenever that worm dies, it will, the segments of the worm get separated, and as these segments are starting to get dissolved by your digestive acids and all of that, as they start getting digested, ova which are present inside the segment itself, they will start getting released. These ova can later on turn into larvae based on the nutrition that they are getting from your intestines, and they will be able to enter into bloodstream and go into other visceral organs, leading to visceral cysticercosis. That is one problem with niclosamide. It can lead to visceral cysticercosis. Cosis. ठीक है. Some people, some doctors do not use this altogether. आप क्या कर सकते हैं? If you are giving niclosamide, after two hours after giving a niclosamide, give a purge, saline purge दे सकते हैं आप, so that you can wash off all the worms that are present in the GIT. Once you know that the drug has worked, 2 hours after giving niclosamide, you can give a saline purge. And what will happen is if you are able to see the scolex of that worm, ठीक है, if you are able to see the scolex of the worm inside the stool of the person, you can be sure that okay, the worm has exited, the segments are out, and the worm has completely exited. There are no ova as well present inside the patient's body. Okay, that is one sure, not exactly sure, but it is a good way to gauge whether or not any ova or any components of Taenia solium are left inside the body. ठीक है, तो आप क्या कर सकते हैं, once you are giving niclosamide, 2 hours after giving niclosamide, perform a saline purge, and with saline purge you'll be able to remove most of the contents of the tinea solium that might be residing inside the patient's body. This drug is safe in pregnancy. Niclosamide को pregnancy में दे सकते हैं. ADR is generally well tolerated. It can cause a little bit of abdominal discomfort. Abdominal discomfort. Okay, and it can also it can cause malaise. In rare situations, it will cause itching and rashes, pruritus and rashes. Okay, some people do not use niclosamide because there is a risk of this thing. There is a risk of visceral cysticercosis from occurring, but it is fine. You can give the drug. The problem nahi hai. Okay. Now coming to the next drug, uh, ivermectin. Now, ivermectin is very good in case of nematodes, arthropods, filariae, especially very effective in microfilaria. Onchocerca volvulus या any microfilarial infection है, Wuchereria bancrofti, वो पूरे infections में ये बहुत अच्छा काम करता. ठीक है. This is a microfilaricidal drug, very popular drug. Microfilaricidal drug. ठीक है. uh, what it will do is it will block the release of microfilaria from the uterus of the adult womb. Even though the mechanism of action is a little unclear, we don't know clearly what is the mechanism of action. What we do know is that it is thought that ivermectin will paralyze the worm by increasing GABA activity. Yeah. Possible mechanism of action is that it will um, paralyze worm by increasing GABA activity. अगर गाबा बढ़ गया तो क्लोरीन चैनल्स ओपन हो जाते एंड विच विल लीड टू hyperpolarization leading to flaccid paralysis. Okay, so essentially what will happen is this fellow will not let the ova of the this thing microfilaria or release of microfilaria from the adult worm itself, from the uterus of the worm, and along with that it will cause paralysis of the worm. At least it is thought that it will do this. Okay, it can also be used in case of insect infection, things like head lice या फिर scabies. अगर पेशेंट को हो रहा तो ivermectin आप यूज कर सकते. Main adverse effects with respect to ivermectin ADR will be a generally well tolerated drug, but in certain patients there will be something called a Mazotti reaction. Mazotti reaction. So Mazotti reaction क्या है? This will be an allergic reaction to microfilarial proteins. Whenever you give the drug, microfilaria are getting killed. Okay, and these microfilarial proteins that are getting dispersed inside your body, they might lead to allergic reaction. For example, hypersensitivity हो सकता, pruritus हो सकता, itching. Some patients will have giddiness. That is called a Mazotti reaction. Okay, in some patients you will see nausea, vomiting. Some patients will have ECG changes. Okay, ECG fluctuations might occur in these some patients, and some patients will have abdominal pain as well with ivermectin. Okay, so this fellow is generally well tolerated, but it can cause something called a Mazotti reaction, wherein uh, single Z, sorry, Mazotti reaction, wherein what will happen is once you are giving the drug and microfilaria are dying, the proteins of the microfilaria may cause a hypersensitivity reaction in the patient itself, wherein it is causing allergy, pruritus, giddiness, and all of that. Okay, so that is something that happens with ivermectin. Now, this drug is generally given very far apart. Single dose of ivermectin, 10 mg to 15 mg, you will generally give 0.2 mg per kg body weight. Okay, orally दे रहे तो आप generally you will give it with albendazole and you will give it annually. ठीक है, साल में एक बार देते हैं आप. It is that kind of a drug. You cannot give it quite a lot, and this will be given to for around 5 to 6 years, depending on how long that infection is going. Generally filariasis है तो 5-6 years लगते. So you will give this drug once a year for 5 to 6 years, and you will change the dose of the drug based on the body weight. Okay, especially oral dose. Now, one important thing that you need to remember with respect to ivermectin is that do not use ivermectin. Don't use with um, drugs influencing other drugs, influencing GABA activity. ठीक है. Other drugs such as benzodiazepine, valproic acid, ये एंटी एपिलेप्टिक ड्रग्स है. जिनको एपिलेप्सी रहती है उन लोगों के अंदर ये गाबा एक्टिविटी को इन्फ्लुएंस करने वाले ड्रग्स देते हैं. उसके साथ बिल्कुल भी कंबाइन नहीं करना. सो उन लोगों को बीजेडीज भी बोलते हैं, बेंजोडायजेपाइंस और valproic acid. You can never give this drug along with these two. Benzodiazepines, it's a class itself. We'll discuss about them when we discuss about neurological drugs. Also, do not give it in patients who have meningitis and sleeping sickness. Okay, avoid giving this in drug patients who are already on drugs such as anti-epileptics or benzodiazepines, and patients who are having meningitis and sleeping sickness. Another important thing: take our ivermectin on empty stomach. Okay, take on empty stomach. If you have already eaten, then if the patient has already eaten, give a gap of 2 hours. After that, give the drug. Okay. So 1 hour, 1 to 2 hours before eating, or 1 to 2 hours after eating. Yeah, 1 hour before eating, 2 hours after eating, या 3 hours after eating दे सकते. Better to take it on empty stomach. ठीक है. It gets orally absorbed. It will not enter CNS. It gets sequestered in the liver. Okay, liver metabolism mainly. T half is about 48 hours to 60 hours. It will stay in your body for 2.5 days. Okay. You can use it in onchocerca infections, filariasis. आप albendazole के साथ lymphatic filariasis के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं साल में एक बार. You can use it for strongyloid species. पेडिकुलोसिस में यूज कर सकते हैं, एस्कैरस में यूज कर सकते हैं, स्केबीज में यूज कर सकते हैं. ठीक है. It has a lot of uses. Ivermectin, very very popular drug. Even though you can only give it very few times, very popular drug, affects very well. Okay, so those are all the drugs that will come in antihelminthics. Now there is one small topic that comes along with antihelminthics, that is drugs used in scabies and pediculosis. Drugs used in scabies and pediculosis. Okay. Scabies specifically is caused by Sarcoptes scabies. Okay. Itch might be बोलते हैं इसको. It is generally transmitted by very close contact, close body contact. If you are even sitting beside a person who has scabies, आपको लग सकता हो. ठीक है. Pediculosis is caused by Pediculus humanus. ठीक है. Scalp पे, body पे, pubic region पे, कहीं पे भी it will start causing itching, severe itching. ठीक है. Mainly आप scabies में scabies may, and actually in pediculosis as well, you can use ivermectin. It is helpful in both of them. Generally you will give it orally along with other scabicides. Okay. The other scabicides are given with a different route other than oral. Ivermectin को orally देते. Another thing about ivermectin, I forgot to tell you. Avoid it in pregnancy. Very very important point. Avoid giving ivermectin in pregnancy, lactation, in any girls and in children. Okay. Children, women, girls, avoid it in pregnancy and avoid it in lactation. Okay. During lactation. Other scabicides include you can give something called benzylbenzene. Very small topic, छोटे छोटे drugs है इसमें, ज़्यादा description नहीं है लोगों का. Benzylbenzene जो है, you will get it as a liquid emulsion. ठीक है. You will get as a 25% emulsion. ठीक है. Almost cream की consistency रहता. After you have had a hot scrub bath, ठीक है, apply this benzyl benzene all over the body every 12 hours. ठीक है, every 12 hours you need to take a bath and hot scrub bath if you have scabies, and after the bath you need to apply benzyl benzene on the person's body. It can cause irritation on frequent usage. If you use it very very frequently, it can cause irritation. Another drug that is used in scabies is permethrin. जनरली पेडिकुलोसिस एंड स्केबीज के ड्रग्स बहुत सिमिलर रहते हैं. ठीक है, एक ड्रग अगर स्केबीज के लिए यूज कर सकते हैं, द सेम ड्रग मोर ऑफन देन नॉट कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर पेडिकुलोसिस एज वेल. देन देयर इज अ ड्रग कॉल्ड परमेथ्रिन. ठीक है, परमेथ्रिन इज एन इंसेक्टिसाइड. ठीक है, इंसेक्टिसाइड. वन सेकंड. स्पेशली इन केस ऑफ लाइस, स्केबीज दोनों पे काम करता. इंसेक्ट्स विल गेट पैरालाइज्ड आफ्टर सिंगल एप्लीकेशन. ठीक है, मोर इन मोस्ट पेशेंट्स एक ही एप्लीकेशन बस हो जाता. यू विल गेट इट एज अ क्रीम, 5% क्रीम मिलता. आप वो क्रीम लगाने के बाद 12 आवर्स वेट करके यू कैन वॉश दैट क्रीम ऑफ. सो यू गेट परमेथ्रिन क्रीम, apply that cream on the affected region, and wash it off after 12 hours. Right, you can especially in case of pediculosis you can uh, rub it on the scalp as well, but if you're rubbing it on the scalp, wash it after 10 minutes. Okay, rather than waiting for 12 hours, wash it after 12 minutes if it is on the scalp. ठीक है, अगर पेडिकुलोसिस आपके बाल में है तो. If it is scabies, then especially on the skin you can put the drug, put the cream on the skin surface wherever it is affected, wait for 12 hours, then wash it off. ठीक है. So then there is another drug called Lindane. This is also a very popular drug. इसको BHC भी बोलते हैं. ठीक है, गामा बेंजीन हेक्साक्लोराइड भी बोलते हैं इसको. बेंजीन हेक्साक्लोराइड, that is why it is called BHC, gamma benzohexene chloride. You will get a 1% cream. ठीक है, you will generally get it in vegetable oil or cream mixture, and it can be applied all over the body. Generally you apply it every 2 to 3 days. ठीक है, it can work as a scabicide. It will also work as a pediculicide. But the problem with BHC is that after a few applications, there is a chance that resistance can develop. That organism will develop resistance to BHC. ठीक है, and it is very 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 lipid soluble, highly lipid soluble. इसका मतलब यह है, it can cause systemic toxicity. Because it is lipid soluble, it will be able to enter into your blood very easily. It will be able to cross your membranes very easily, and it can cause systemic toxicity. BHC. Specifically, it can cause arrhythmias and seizures. Okay? It can lead to arrhythmias plus seizures. So be careful when using Linden. If a patient already has a cardiological problem or if they have epilepsy, avoid this drug. Okay? So those are the drugs that are included in scabies and pediculosis. As I told you, very very small topic. 2 marks के वैसा आया तो आता. Generally antihelminthics के साथ मिला के ही दे देते. ठीक है, you don't have a lot of detail in this part. ठीक है, scabies and pediculosis. Now tomorrow we'll start antiseptics and disinfectants. That completes our antihelminthics. चलो.